whole team with me.
Yes, yes. It is a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Rather, nazar no laga, you are looking very young today. Like,
Yeah. It's all by the best wishes of people like you, you know.
नमस्कार सर.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Dr. Jeena.
नमस्कार सर.
Namaskar. So today they have given me the assignment to initiate.
I see. So you are the person who will conduct the program.
Conduct simple Sri Ganesh karna mera kaam hai.
I see.
Initiation.
So now you are sitting in which place?
We are in the NAHEP building.
I see.
Building, near the market, the new building.
Okay. So how is your family? Everything is all right?
All fine, sir. All wonderful.
It's coming one point. It will not come like this.
No, it's a different one.
Huh?
It's a different one.
जब meeting शुरू होगा,
it will come then.
This is Doctor. Good morning.
Namaskar. Good morning to all. Good morning.
Dr. Kashyap, good morning.
Wonderful to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. He's the dean. No?
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah, very well.
थोड़ा
Here is your figure.
आपका ठीक है
But they must be seeing you on figure.
It's coming there.
नाम क्या आता है देख लेता हूँ. Change.
वो लोग they must have put it in the proper format. Some photographs are coming big, and this photograph is fixed up. ये दूसरा वाला laptop है क्या?
नहीं.
Tuesday use case is same or
This is Microsoft Teams. It's a different. That was Zoom. This is Microsoft Teams.
तो वो वाला कहाँ गया?
नहीं, they are platform. They are different, using different platform. So that software is different. They are using Microsoft Teams. Yeah, ICR में भी ज़्यादा वो Zoom है. Zoom is a different. Microsoft Teams is different.
बढ़ाने की जरूरत है क्या? लाइट बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है. ठीक है.
थोड़ा बढ़ाने का आवश्यकता है. Yeah. Now it's better.
आप लोग ज़्यादा चमक रहे
हैं. इसमें देख लीजिए कुछ हो सकते हैं.
ये कह रहा था आप लोग ज़्यादा चमक रहे थे तो हमने कहा हम लोग भी थोड़ा लाइट बनाते हैं.
You all are shining. Mm.
This is coming in name of director, sugarcane. Okay.
Hmm? इसका फॉर्मेट चेंज कर देंगे ठीक हो जाएगा।
वही मैं सोच रहा हूँ आप ऐसे चाह रहे हैं
नहीं, गुड मॉर्निंग डॉक्टर साहब, मुखोपाध्याय हियर।
डॉक्टर साहब नमस्कार, मेरा भी अभिवादन स्वीकार कीजिए। एसएन तिवारी। डॉक्टर मुखोपाध्याय हमारा प्रणाम स्वीकार कीजिए।
गुड मॉर्निंग, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
और
नमस्कार सर।
जी
सर नमस्कार सर। डॉक्टर आरबी सिंह सर नमस्कार सर। मैं राजेंद्र बारवाले बोल रहा हूँ सर।
Oh, Dr. Oh, Raju is also here. Very good. Excellent. Oh,
Dr. Raju Saab from Pantnagar also.
Yes sir.
Greetings and welcome over here. It's
Thank you
great.
sir. Thank you sir.
Dr. Agarwal, good morning. I'm Mukhopadhyay here.
डॉक्टर साहब नमस्कार।
And welcome to Education, Dr. R.C. Agarwal sir also on platform. He has also joined, Dr. R.C. Agarwal sir. Welcome to you. So all three illustrious experts and alumni, those who are there across from the country, those who have contributed a lot for this agricultural education segment and setup of the country, all three are here on the platform now. And without taking even one more minute, let's begin the program straight away. And it's complete 10. So Dr. Salil Tiwari, our head plan breeding, he will be initiating.
Distinguished dignitaries, participants from near and far of this country, and dear students, ladies and gentlemen, I, Dr. Salil Tiwari, Professor and Head, Genetics and Plant Breeding, feel it my proud privilege to welcome you all to this premier and first Agriculture University, GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. I welcome you from the inner core of my heart this morning on the webinar of Agriculture Education Day, which we are celebrating on the birthday of distinguished President Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji.
For them, it is bigger.
With me,
They must be seeing
two
every
distinguished persons are here. Our very illustrious and dynamic Dean, Dr. S.K. Kashyap, and who is also the PI of IDP-NAHEP of Pantnagar. and another distinguished academician, Dr. S.K. Guru, who is the nodal officer of the academics at IDP-NAHEP. Education is the backbone of any civilization and of any country. Particularly, it becomes more important if it is related with the first need and culture of the country, that is agriculture. So we are very pleased today that we are having three very illustrious speakers today. Dr. R.B. Singh Saab, stalwart of Indian agriculture. Then they are my ideal persons also. Then we have second person, Dr. Amarnath Mukhopadhyay sir, who has been our own person, our own dean of this college, very distinguished scientist and very distinguished administrator with us. Then I also welcome Dr. R.C. Agrawal ji, DDG Education. So with these words, I welcome you all again to this webinar. Thank you very much. Now I hand over the mic to Dr. S.K. Guru for the introduction of the speaker.
Thank you, sir. Honorable dignitaries on this platform, I feel it a privilege and honor to introduce the dignitaries of today's webinar. In fact, they are such prominent personalities in agricultural education in this country that they don't need any formal introduction to the agricultural community at large. But still, I think it's my duty to highlight some significant personal achievements of their professional life so that inspires all of us. We have with us the current Deputy Director General Education ICAR, Professor R.C. Agrawal Sarji, who is also the National Director of the National Agricultural Higher Education Project, which is being run in several state agricultural universities in the country. Dr. Agrawal has been guiding the agricultural education system of our country to improve the quality of higher education in agriculture through all the state and central agriculture universities and ICAR deemed institute. And his main focus is to attract youths for pursuing careers in agriculture and allied sectors. R.C. Agrawal sir was elected by the Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations to lead a group for implementation of farmers' rights in about 146 countries. He is also a recipient of the first prestigious Dr. B.R. Barwale National Award for the excellence in plant genetic resources. A life member and several societies awarded by various professional societies, sir is actively guiding the agricultural education system of the country, and in the NAHEP also, where there is a focus on improving both the faculty and students of the agriculture universities in agriculture and allied disciplines. He is a very strong guiding force. So we are privileged to have you with us, sir, today. Professor R.B. Singh, Padma Bhushan. It is very difficult to describe a personality like Professor R.B. Singh, who for the last 5 decades has been providing his leadership in improving agrarian livelihood, food, nutrition, and ecological security in cutting-edge research and technology development in higher education and human resources development, and also in policy and program formulation, execution, and appraisal, both at the national and global level. Professor R.B. Singh sir has held prominent positions like the Chancellor of Central Agriculture University, Imphal, President of the National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, also the Director and Vice Chancellor of Indian Agricultural Research Institute. He had also been the Assistant Director General of FAO for the United Nations and held other senior FAO positions for about 15 years at Bangkok and Rome. And while with FAO, Professor Singh had assisted several developing countries in enhancing their human resource, research, and technology development capacities in augmenting productivity, sustainability, profitability of major farming systems, and in strengthening policies, strategies, and enabling mechanisms through launching highly acclaimed national and international programs. A member of the National Commission on Farmers, he shares the responsibility to suggest the government of India to formulate appropriate policy, strategy, and program interventions to enhance farmers' income and to alleviate hunger and poverty, which is presently the focus of our government. So, for his contributions over 5 decades, he has been honored by various societies, Doctor of Science honoris causa from 8 universities, gold medal from the International Board for Plant Genetic Resources, and in contribution to his recognitions, he has been given the highest civilian award, Padma Bhushan, by the Government of India. So we are privileged to have you with us, sir, in this platform today. The agricultural community will be enriched by your views on today's topic. Professor Ian Mukhopadhyay, ex-Vice Chancellor of Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, and presently Honorable Member of the Board of Management of Govind Ballabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, is an eminent plant pathologist of international repute. Professor Mukhopadhyay served both Gujarat Agriculture University and the GB Pant Agriculture University as a successful faculty member, and then he was also the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture at Pantnagar Agriculture University, and then he went on to become the Vice Chancellor of Assam Agriculture University. And a recipient of prestigious awards and honors, which includes Professor Narasimhan Academy Award, Professor M.S. Pabbi Award, Fellowship of a number of scientific professional societies in the country, Fellowship of the National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, and with 130 such publications, 8 books, Sir has been guiding the agricultural community of our country through his vision and wisdom. His remarkable contribution in the field of plant pathology is the biological control of plant diseases using beneficial fungi. We also feel honored to have you with us, sir, today, and we will also be enriched by your views on today's webinar. With this introduction, I now request our Dean Agriculture and also the PI NAHEP IDP at Pantnagar, Professor S.K. Kashyap, sir, to go ahead with the proceedings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Guru. Again, welcoming the very illustrious personalities from all across on the dais. It's really a privilege and it's a celebration in real sense that we are having illustrious personalities from all across. 3 personalities Dr. already introduced. I see Dr. P. Ramasundaram, National Coordinator IDP, also who has joined over here, Mr. Raju Barwale Sahab, very, very illustrious personality into agriculture. He is one of the alumni, the initial alumni of Pantnagar University. He is there. I see Dr. Gajendra Singh Sahab. He is in US, and I see him. He's also one of those illustrious personalities who have contributed a lot. I see many people from all across the country. I see deans and directors of the university. Dr. Avirkar is there. All the heads of the departments of College of Agriculture, the illustrious professors, associate professors, assistant professors, those who have joined for the day, and welcoming all of you, those who are there today on the platform. Not taking much of the time because it's very, very important to listen to those illustrious people, those who have joined today. We requested 3 very eminent people to join to put their views today on Agriculture Education Day, the day which is being celebrated as to commemorate the importance of, the relevance of, and the future of agriculture education, and aligning with the name of Dr. Raj, the president who was from real background of agriculture. So today we have Dr. R.C. Agrawal, sir, DDG Education, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. We requested him to chair the session for the day. Dr. R.B. Singh Sahab, the legendary personality into agriculture, to put his very strong views. Dr. R.B. Singh Sahab has been seminal across whole life, and he is there with us today. And Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay Sahab, the personality who has made lots of difference into education, agricultural education setup. I recall only yesterday, a person of 1972 batch, when he knew that Dr. Mukhopadhyay would be speaking, he gave a big reference of how he felt into the classes of Dr. Mukhopadhyay in 1972. So he got nostalgic to align with a true professor, who a true teacher, who actually made a difference. So these three personalities are there, and I seek this opportunity to initiate with Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay Saab. Then I will be coming to Dr. R.V. Singh Saab, and then I will be coming up to Dr. Agarwal Saab, ultimately, one by one, and we will be aligning this whole session into two segments. One about the initiation, how actually agricultural education was shaped up into the country, which has come up to the present thrust of agricultural education, which is making lots of difference. And the second segment is about how we foresee the agricultural education should shape up in the days to come, because world is looking towards us, and it's a vast country, and into this vast segment of the country, this whole lot interventions that we are making across, this is being observed all across. Challenges are shifting accordingly, how the agricultural education should shape up. So because it is very precious moment to listen to you. And that's why we have segmented it into two parts so that we can have proper thrust on both the segments. So I would be making a request initially to talk in terms of how it has shaped. You have already observed through your life and through your deeds how it has shaped. So aligning with your experiences and then going towards how it should go ahead according to your own vision. So this way we will be getting ahead. Align the agricultural education segment or setup of the country, right from 1862 land grant pattern that emerged into United States to coming into Indian segment, and then Nehru-Truman Treaty, and then land grant pattern adopted in India, and then coming up to the first agricultural university concept that came up into Pantnagar University, and then the team of Illinois people, those who stayed into this campus for nothing less than 10 to 15 years, 1960 to about 1973-74, they were over here. At least 35 illustrious people from Illinois, those who helped us bring. And in between the toils, the million toils of all those who were there into shaping up agricultural education into the country. So I take this privilege to request Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay Saab, who has been right from the beginning, who has been into Pantnagar. I request Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay Saab to align with some of his memories and looking into the thrust of how agricultural education came up into the country and the experiences of how it generated and got structured, the genesis plus the development, some of his experiences. Dr. Mukhopadhyay Saab, please.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap, for the lovely introduction. Padma Bhushan, Dr. R.B. Singh, TDG Education, Dr. Agarwal. I could not see esteemed Vice Chancellor, possibly he'll be joining us afterwards. Dean Dr. Kashyap, all the other members who are attending this webinar. At the very outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for inviting me to join this important webinar on agriculture education, the futuristic outlook. I consider it as a great privilege and honor since I started my teaching career at this great and remarkable institute 53 years back. I joined G.V. Pant Agriculture University way back in 1967, precisely January 5th. It is the first and foremost agriculture university in the country and has been instrumental in shaping the career of not only mine, but many outstanding personalities of this country. I served for 30 years before joining Assam Agriculture University as Vice Chancellor in 1997. It was considered as a true backward area. I'm talking about Pantnagar, when he joined in 1967, because all the normal facilities of life, like hospital, market, cinema hall, and even proper transport system, proper railway stations were lacking. I visibly and vividly remember while going to Pantnagar, joining in the January 1967, I had to wait in Pantnagar railway station early in the morning for 2 to 3 hours to find a rickshaw to take me to the campus. We had a train, Nainital Express, which leaves Pantnagar at 9 o'clock in the night, but we are all the time advised to reach station by 6 o'clock before it is dark so that we are not attacked by wild animals. And recently there was a tiger, tiger found in the campus also. So these are the things. But you know, the greatest silver lining was that this campus was full of talented, vibrant, dedicated young scientists from all over the country. I remember in 1967, when you look at the faculty was from South, North, Punjab, West Bengal, Jammu, Kashmir, you name anything. Any bright faculty members who are coming from the different parts of the country. So these are the two things. And also our presence was because of the vibrant students. Students were not only from UP or Uttarakhand or Bihar, but there are students from all over the country because at that time the admission was given based on the merit, not on the written test or the examination. I want to say that agriculture is the culture of all culture. And as a student, as a faculty members, we should be all proud because we have chosen agriculture as our own profession, which is feeding the whole nation. And it is vital to the country because it is producing enough. I remember my student days way back in 1950 when you're receiving wheat from PL40 grant. At that time, there was a food shortage. And we used to get shiploads of wheat grain from USA under PL42 project. And those shiploads of grain, when you turn into atta, prepare roti, I still remember we used to get smell of DDT because they'll be sending these grains mixed with DDT in the ship so that they don't get spoiled. But from 50 million ton production in 1950, now we are producing more than 285 million tons. This has happened because of the concerted effort of the agriculture scientists, politicians, policymakers, and also last but not the least, the farmers. Pantnagar has played a pivotal role in shaping the agriculture scenario of the country. In fact, it was the guiding force for all the agriculture universities in the country, and everything which was followed in Pantnagar and which culminated into Green Revolution, starting from Pantnagar and also to certain extent to Ludhiana, Punjab. This has been possible because we had the vast thing to do. But nevertheless, I would say, if you look at the infrastructure that time, if you look at the hostel facilities, housing facilities and everything which we have encountered, I joined in 1967, it was far from satisfactory. But that never come or deterred in any way because the dedication of the every members of the university, including the vice chancellor, were remarkable. We are not talking about the facilities which are required for the daily life, but there is a dedication. We used to move around in cycle. And Pantnagar University has the system of 85% attendance for the students to appear in the final examination. I think Dr. Kashyap, still it continues like that, I suppose.
Yes, it is like that,
Yeah.
of course.
So I remember in the month of July 1967, when there was heavy downpour, I had a class at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was getting ready with my old cycle from BHU days, which I used to cycle in the campus, and with my torn the raincoat. And I was getting ready. My wife said, don't go because you'll be totally drenched, in this heavy rain. But I said to her, I know for sure out of 50 students, maybe 40 to 45 will be present in the class. So I cannot afford to remain at home. And when I reached the classroom, getting totally drenched with the rain, I could see more than 45 students are present out of 50. So that is the spirit of Pantnagar. That is the spirit of Pantnagar which is now lacking these days. We used to get drenched in rain. we would attend the class, we would take pleasure in doing that. Every faculty members, when they join, they are not provided with students in the first year. I remember when I joined, in the morning I used to go to the field for our research experiment at 8 o'clock or maybe a little earlier, then finish up the research guidance in the field. We used to come back to the college for teaching or other activities. There is one very important thing, which is that why over the years, the tradition, the values of Pantnagar have been little lowered. Why it is not coming up to the expectations, which are the vital force for the whole of the country. I tried to analyze the fact that how it happened. I personally feel at that time, there was no restrictions for admission of the student who are coming on merit. But now it is the quota system for state, quota system for other states. So maybe 15 to 20% students are coming from outside state, the rest are from Uttarakhand. So you know the quality of students, which is very important for the development of the university, has gone down because of the restriction from the limited number. Pantnagar should be a national university rather than a central university, but unfortunately it has not happened. I remember when there's a proposal for turning some of the university into central university. As a member of that committee, there is no proposal from Pantnagar University to lift it or uplift it to the central status. This was a very unfortunate thing which had happened. Otherwise, the leader or the guiding force for the whole of the country, Pantnagar University, could have been in the state of this central status or something like that. Secondly, in recruiting the faculty, if you look into the status and the presence of the faculty members in this remarkable institute, you'll find it is now restricted more or less to the people around Pantnagar. In our time, I think Dr. RB Singh will agree with me, we had faculties from all nook and corners of the country, South, North, Punjab, Kashmir, and even our Vice Chancellor DP Singh, that time, I remember, if he's visiting USA, he will visit the US universities, call the students who are finishing their PhD, and on the spot, he will issue appointment letter, irrespective of the fact whether he is from UP or Bihar or any other place. His concern was only that you should set the best of the faculty members. I have a vivid memory of my own selection. I am really tempted to narrate that. I was doing my PhD in BHU, and I almost to finish my PhD. I didn't get my PhD that time. I didn't submit. I appeared for an interview in Pantnagar. There are 7 candidates in Pantnagar University that time. Out of 7, 4 were already PhDs. 4 were already PhDs. I was not PhD that time. So I thought there is no question of my selection, you know, because when there are 4 PhDs in the interview committee, I appeared in the interview. It's an excellent thing. There are some American experts, Dr. DP Singh, then Ankanant Rao, people like that. And after 7 days, I received a letter that I have been selected for that post. They selected me on the basis of the fact, not that I am PhD, but I had 5 publications in International Journal of Repute. That is how the recruitment was done that time. It is not only your degree, it is not only your qualification. So I still remember vividly, and it was a great gift to me. I joined, and then finally I continued there for 30 years. So these are the certain facts of life, certain things which you should be remembering in our whole system. And you know, for development of an institute, we need 3 important things. Number 1, infrastructure, which Pantnagar has plenty of them. There's a very good infrastructure development all these years. Second is the best quality faculty member, in which possibly we have to see that we get the best faculty member for that purpose. And thirdly, the students. So if we can somehow attract students from all over the country, instead of restricting to Uttarakhand, possibly Pantnagar University will get back the old glory which used to get at that time. You know, I think there are many more things which you can discuss over the course of time, but it is one of the best part of my life and the best part of life of so many people who have achieved glory in this thing. I could see Dr. Gajendra Singh, who was one of the illustrious student of this university. There are many others, and then Dr. Mr. Raju Barwale, who was the student that time, and I was the hostel warden in Shuvas Bhavan. I remember those beautiful days. So there are many more stories and many more inspiring stories. So we are not to get discouraged. We are not to get complacent. I think I'm sure we shall get back the agriculture education in true sense if we can give all these three inputs for that matter. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your insightful and very nostalgic aligning inputs that you gave initially, and especially aligning to the university, Pantnagar, from where this agricultural university segment and set up into the country aligned and started. So it was really beautiful. I want to add one aspect that I forgot initially. I was supposed to, that this event that we initiated with. This event was with the blessings of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Tej Pratapji, who guided to go ahead with it. And he was supposed to be there on the platform today. But the warrior who was confronting everything from the front into this Corona period, he got confronted with Corona last 3-4 days back, 5-6 days back. And because he is severely confronted with Corona, so we requested him not to join today because he was having some problems into breathing. So I said that you please stay. And Dr. J. Kumar sir, our registrar of the university, who have been officiating Vice Chancellor also, he is there on the platform. Dr. J. Kumar sir, he is there with us today. So I welcome Dr. J. Kumar sir, please, on the platform. And now going towards Dr. R.B. Singh ji. When we talk about agriculture education, I take it much more as compared to running a university. I take it much more as compared to, we all think that, we all understand that it is much more than teaching the students. It is all about making a country sovereign, food sovereign country. We talk in terms of making the country nutritionally secured country. We talk in terms of future of the country that is aligned with agricultural education that is there across. And this is how actually agriculture is being looked towards, because it is much more than running a university. It is much more than running an educational setup. It's a big, very big promise to the country in one way. And this is how actually Dr. Radhakrishnan Commission and right set from 1949 to the day it has emerged. So going towards illustrious personality of the height of Dr. R.B. Singh ji, please. Unmute sir, unmute please, unmute sir. Dr. Sir R.B. Singh sir, unmute कर लीजिए आप. अभी आप mute किए हुए.
Am I muted now?
Perfect, now perfect. Please.
You can hear me all right?
Yes, yeah. Of course, you are there.
Okay. Still a very good morning to each one of you. I'm so delighted. First of all, let me recognize that Dr. Agrawal is there. It's so wonderful. Dr. Mukhopadhyay is there. J. Kumar has also joined. I'm sorry that Tej Pratap is not able to make it. My best wishes to him. He should get well. I am missing him. He's a great, wonderful leader. So to you, Dr. Kashyap and Guru and Tripathi ji, all the colleagues who are there, present there. I heard Gajendra is also there. Raju Barwale is there and so on. So they are all full. Gajendra has been very close to me. Raju likewise, more like my son and my student. He has been always very respectful. So I'm so delighted that all of you are there and talking on a very wonderful topic today. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be here. I congratulate you all for the observance of the day. And this you are doing in the memory of a great educationist. As a matter of fact, Bharat Ratna Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, the first Union Minister of Agriculture and the first President of independent India. He was an embodiment of simplicity, the highest of wisdom one can possess, a great thinker, a great visionary. As a matter of fact, in the memory of such a great personality, when you celebrate something, you get charged by these remembrances. You just get charged. And since this is a day, I would like my younger colleagues and students to please recall that they are connecting themselves today with none lesser than the greatest person that India had ever produced, Padma Ratna or Bharat Ratna, Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji. This is really great. This day must change us and enthuse our young minds to transform agriculture, to build new India. I think this is the promise we should take today. And New India, the road to New India passes through the fields of farmers. And the fields of farmers are green because of university like Pantnagar. So if you are really having a farmer and a field and a New India, connect yourself with the university system like Pantnagar. I think this is where the connectivity and interlinkage between education and development is really built. As a matter of fact, Pantnagar Agriculture University, GBPUAT, is a glory of the nation. It's the glory for the nation. It signifies beginning of a new era in the whole country. As a matter of fact, when Pantnagar was established, the whole country had different altogether, a different wave of thinking. And that obviously brought into, of course, the land grant university system into play in the whole country. And we followed the system which was obviously so prevalent in the US. Well, as a matter of fact, I have never missed being at Pantnagar campus, as and when I had an opportunity. And let me tell you, many of you probably may not know, I'm an old student of Pantnagar in a different way. I was I was given the honoris causa Doctor of Science degree from Pantnagar in 1991. Out of my 10 honoris causa degrees, this was my first honoris causa degree from Pantnagar. So I value that degree the most, and therefore I am a student of Pantnagar. So I feel very proud when I say that I'm a student of Pantnagar. And this is where I say that I would never miss an opportunity. If there is something at Pantnagar, and I have never missed it, and I love it, the place, because it has given so much to the country, to the humanity as a whole, as a matter of fact. Now, coming to the real situation that we have in the country in terms of agricultural education and the institutions. Friends, as you all know, that today's topic is requesting us to talk about the quality concerns in agricultural education. A futuristic outlook is expected from us, which I think is most topical and timely because of many of the disturbances which you notice today that have to be handled, as a matter of fact, in a comprehensive, science-led, well-informed manner. In that context, I am very pleased to say that agricultural education system in India, which is based on the agricultural university grant system of the US, that is the land grant pattern system, which integrates teaching, education, and research extension all together, which all began at Pantnagar being the leader in the system, which was followed by another 63, 64 universities in the real terms of state agriculture universities. Then you have some, of course, the deemed universities. Then you have the central universities where you have the colleges of agriculture as good as a university and so on and so forth. So like that, about 74 institutions in the category of what you can call university or something system like that constitute our total national agricultural education system in real terms of higher education. And that national system of India that has been built by these institutions is really the harbinger, is the place of birth of green revolution, the rainbow revolutions of all kind, had generated the needed scientific manpower in the country, the teachers, the technologists, and their transfer to transform India from sip to mouth situation to right to food status that India can proudly say. And one of the top leading exporters of the agricultural commodities, and being number one or two producer of one of the other commodities of the world. And today, India is the second largest agrarian economy in the world. And this agrarian economy is primarily because of these rainbow revolutions which were initiated by institutions like Pantnagar, agriculture universities. Friends, yet, despite all these beautiful developments that we have miles to go, and we have to reach many unreached, a large number of unreached people. As you all know, the world's 1/4 of the hungry and the poor people, undernourished people, have their homes in India. About 40% of the wasted children of the world are our own children. And I do not know whether you know it or not, but in the last 10 years, the number of wasted children in India of the world's number is about 50% and has grown up. This is very unfortunate. So we are having a very enigmatic situation. And this enigma, having surplus on one side, mountains of food on one side, about 300 million tons of grain, 320 plus million tons of horticultural produce, almost 185 million tons of milk, you name it. Despite all that, India has this degree of poverty, hunger, undernutrition, and of course they are stunted children. You want to build a tall India, you want to build new India, you want to build a $5 trillion economy, and so on and so forth. How can you build a tall India on the shoulders of stunted children whose shoulders are sunk? There is danger of epigenetic fixation of undernutrition. A dwarf will breed dwarf. An intellectually dwarf person will breed an intellectually dwarf person. Now, if this is going to be genetic fixation, epigenetics as it is called, those who are geneticists will understand it, then please don't be happy that we have crossed 300 million tons of this, that, and that. We are exporting so and so and so forth. But please remember what we are still have to achieve with these kinds of deprivation. And mind you, this deprivation costs annually about 6 to 10% of the GDP of the nation every year. The hunger, undernutrition, malnutrition cost the nation's GDP to this extent. And mind you, those hungry boys and girls and women are where? They are in the families of the farmers, smallholder farmers, more often than anywhere else. So please remember the responsibility of our universities. And we find that of lately, in many places, there is some degeneration of the educational system, and it has slackened the whole process. There are very many asymmetries in the process, and those asymmetries are leading to a stagnation of this kind of growth. And the software component, you might mind the hardware, you have grain, which is a hardware, but the grain is not reaching the one who he needs to really have it. That is the soft component of the development, the socio-economic complex, the entirety of the management system, and so on and so forth, which is also a part of education. That is much more softer side of the education, which is not being really delivered and understood and led in the nation. And this is why we are facing this kind of problem. We are having the complexity of abundance coupled with deficit of the highest order. So this enigma has to be removed as quickly as we can. And we find that these many shortcomings which have cropped in at our university systems, agriculture university systems, we may like to mention that the academic rigor and contextualization of the emerging challenges which I am mentioning to you, which we can also foresee some of the challenges. Of course, the COVID is around, and of course, the COVID and the nutrition and the overall your ability to manage and so on and so forth, and many of the socio-economic derailments which have taken place, both economic, social, and of course the entire system which has degenerated, including environmental. These need a very strong rigor of education and understanding, and to contextualize these in our courses and our programs. Please mind you, erosion of basic sciences from the agriculture universities is a big loss. And I remember we used to have the School of Basic Sciences in Pantnagar also, when Golakoti Sahab used to be the dean, and Golakoti Sahab के जाने के बाद वो भी गोल हो गया. Basic sciences भी जिस तरह से होना चाहिए गोल होता जा रहा है हर यूनिवर्सिटी. I think we should be able to make it sure that this kind of degeneration doesn't take place. Erosion of basic sciences should be restored. Poor quality and insufficient academic staff. I have found in many agriculture university, one person, one department. And how would you run a university? We go on creating institutions without looking at who will teach what and what degree and what will be the distribution. And therefore, you can please understand the insufficient academic staff, faculty positions remain unfilled in many cases. Even 40 to 50% of the positions, if you look at the national level in the agriculture universities, are unfilled. Widening disconnect between the education, research, and extension, resulting in knowledge deficit at different levels, which is limiting the internalization of relevant international trends and developments, and the indifference of youth towards agriculture. This is very unfortunate, and how hopefully this day will be able to excite youth, younger generation, to take to agriculture of the highest kind. We also find there is a disconnect among agricultural education, employment, and industries. Of course, Barwale is there. He will understand what it means to connect with the corporate private sector, with the agriculture public sector, and so on, and what it means to really have an employable graduate. And that kind of a requirement is very important. The lack of educated skill, entrepreneurship development, experiential learning, overall poor employability of our agricultural graduates. 35 to 40% of our bachelor's degree holder in agriculture are unemployed. How a nation can afford? Because of many of the private colleges in agriculture which have come here, there, everywhere. And from some of the also universities which have cropped up, the employability of those graduates is very low. Those who are in the corporate sector will know it, what is required and how can we improve it. There is very high, Mukhopadhyay was mentioning in the beginning, there was tremendous crossbreeding of brains and ideas and people and the faculty and so on. And now, of course, there is extensive inbreeding. The low access of agricultural education to rural students. So inbreeding, those who are plant breeders will know strategy, inbreeding depression. And if you have inbreeding, depression is bound to come. And stop this as if you can, if this can be avoided. Also, please see that the poor system of evaluation, monitoring, impact assessment, accountability fixation, incentive systems, we have limited digitalization and inefficient governance, and most importantly, the investment in agriculture, our agricultural institutions is still highly inadequate as compared to many recommendations we have been making, that 1% of the GDP, the agricultural GDP should go to agricultural research, and we find that hardly 0.1%. In Uttar Pradesh, 0.08%. goes to GDP goes to agriculture research. Now, if this is the situation, in many places we have less than 0.1, 0.2% investment in the agriculture university systems. How can you really build a strong without the resources and funds available with you? These are the problems. This is what is causing the degeneration of the quality of the agriculture education in the country. Now, we have had serious thinking. Of course, the ICR has been giving a lot of attention to remove many of these, the accreditation boards and so on and so forth, and the new way of doing business have been created. I do not know if some of you attended our Bhubaneswar Congress that we held in 2013. That was the 11th National Science Congress, and we came out with the Bhubaneswar Declaration. And some of you, of course, Jay Kumarji is there. He was part of my team of the 5th Deans Committee recommendations that we have made. Many of these issues in the 5th Deans Committee we have raised, and we have tried to see that we bring about the new changes, new emerging issues. Of course, that time COVID was not there, but we have mentioned anything because of the climate change, the increase in the biotic, abiotic stresses that is happening, the risk which management is becoming much more important today than anything else, the socio-economic crisis which is arising because of the these risk considerations or climate change considerations, the biosafety, biosecurity, all these diminishing natural resources and biodiversity, all these losses ask you to rebuild yourself, to align your courses to make it sure that students are able to be sensitized to look into all these major developments and important things which are cutting your development, overall growth process, creating the inequity in the society. India, you know, the farmers and non-farmers income gap is 1:4. If a farmer gets 100 rupees as income, net income, the non-farmer gets 400. So you are living in unequal world right here. And half of the world is so unequal. Because the farmers' population, about 50% of the country's population. So, my dear friends, this is so very important to recognize some of these problems, and we must be able to remove these problems. We must make our agriculture education for development as an integral common component of the national agriculture policy in creating a world-class agriculture university system which should be attuned to face local, national, and international challenges today. Because local is global and global is local today. There is very little difference. COVID-19 is everywhere, all over the world. And many of the things could happen of this kind where we'll need the total understanding of national, local, regional, global, and so on and so forth. Therefore, the concept of the multidisciplinary education research university systems is so very important, and Pantnagar should attain that and should be able to get that degree of appreciation and input to be Meru. I hope you all understand what Meru stands for. I don't have to explain. We must be able to build integrated, multi-faculty, multidisciplinary institutions to ensure and institutionalize transparent governance, autonomy, meritocracy. Merit should be the only consideration in appointment as well as in admission. Judicious allocation of resources and, of course, the accountable system must be able to ask why this has not been done. There must be a way to measure the performance of individual teacher, faculty, and staff so that you can fix the accountability with responsibility. If you have made someone responsible, fix the accountability. Must be able to govern it properly. So responsibility with accountability is so very important today, not happening. We have a cell, we have evaluation and so on, so all those cells are there in the universities, but are they functioning? Are you able to take action against those people who are not teaching properly? or those performances are not good. I think I'm being very frank, and we have to be very, very, concerned about this. We must stop the inbreeding that goes on. We should be able to come back. We must bring back the basic sciences and so on, strengthen the state and center relations properly. It must be much more reciprocal. We must be able to revamp our teaching and learning process, and the pedagogy should be able to attract best of talents and for preparing the youth for leadership of agriculture. We should be able to institutionalize skill development, entrepreneurship, experiential learning programs, as we have very strongly made recommendations in the 15th committee. And therefore, since today the global is local, I will say we should be able to have a long-term international cooperation, rejuvenation, and replication of successful experiences of any model which has succeeded under difficult conditions. Therefore, South-South, South-North, South-North-South collaboration should be promoted in a big way. So today is the era of not working closely within the doors of our own self. We should be open to the whole world, and the world should be able to interact with us. Now, friends, this webinar is most topical and timely for another reason. Because the new new education policy, national policy for education, has been announced. And as you all probably know, that our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, was able to elaborate the aim of the new education policy at the Education Conclave held on August 7. And he led the pledge to implement it effectively, including allocation of rupees 100,000 crores to begin with. The new education policy envisions an educational system that makes good human beings with the skill and expertise contributing directly to transforming our nation sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all, making our students a global citizen, as he claims and as he desires, thus rendering the new education policy as the foundation for New India. New India through the new education and new agriculture education policy. And if we connect this, probably then we'll be doing the business properly. Please also remember that what are the strong points of the new education policy? I don't have time to elaborate all through, but I want to mention a few small points. You all mentioned to begin with all the time that education is fundamental to uphold and unfold human potential, equitable and just society, of promoting national development, providing universal access to quality education is the key to India's continued ascent and leadership at the global stage in terms of economic, social justice, equity, scientific advancement, national integration, and cultural preservation. We should also be able to see that India will have the highest population of young people, as we know. So can India take advantage of the demography? Can that demographic dividend be really captured in India? And we are able to provide quality education to the youth, which will allow the dividend to be captured. This is why the quality of education today is very important. Mind you, by the year 2050, India will have 1.7 billion people. We will be 400 million people more than China, because China's population is already declining and will start declining, stabilizing at 1.3 billion. India will be 1.7 billion by 2050. And then if the youth population is so huge here, and if the youth is not educated properly to build India of that magnitude, then probably we will be losing the opportunity. Therefore, it is so very important, as the national goals, many of the national goals today have replicated what is the Sustainable Development Goal. The Agenda 2030 is very often the national goals of many countries. And in the Agenda 2030, the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by the year 2030 in most timely way. Thus, entire education system must be configured to support faster learning. As a matter of fact, if SDG 4 is this, SDG 1 is poverty alleviation, SDG 2 is hunger and undernutrition alleviation, and you go to SDG 13, that is the climate change management and climate smart agriculture development. So if you look at the SDGs, incorporate in your education curriculum, you see that these are finding a place in your curriculum. Your teachers are sensitized, your faculty is sensitized, your students are updated in all these processes. Only then you can ensure the quality of your students if they are sensitized to all these processes. So I will say, please follow those which are important and take advantage of also the recommendations made by ICR as well as the Dean's Committee. And one particular point I want to make, which the Dean's Committee has very clearly brought out, as the Prime Minister keeps saying that
you have got unmuted. Mute हो गए sir, mute हो गए. आप unmute कर लीजिए. हम कर सकते हैं क्या? Sir, mute हो गए हैं आप. Dr. RB Singh sir, आप mute हो गए हैं. आप unmute कर लीजिए. Unmute कर लीजिए. आप म्यूट हो गए हैं सर. डॉक्टर RB Singh आप म्यूट.
अच्छा, कब से अनम्यूट हो गए थे?
अभी केवल 10 सेकंड 15 सेकंड पहले से. अब ठीक है, अब बोलिए.
चलो, people have not missed then. So what I wish to say, that please follow that be vocal for local, and there is a recommendation in our Dean's Committee that certain optional courses that we have suggested should be taken up quickly. For example, coastal agriculture, courses on coastal agriculture wherever relevant, hill agriculture, tribal agriculture, all these unique courses we have tried to formulate. We have also been able to put into prominence the work like genomics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, GIS, precision farming, conservation agriculture, secondary agriculture, high-tech cultivation, specialty agriculture, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, mechanotropics, plastics in agriculture, dryland horticulture and agriculture. We have said agrometeorology and climate change, waste disposal and pollution abatement, food and plant regulations and licensing, food quality, food security and safety, and the standards of certification, food storage engineering, food plant sanitation, the unconventional energy resources and solar power. So all these we have made recommendation of the needed processes today, which should allow the processing technology and other systems which will give the entrepreneurship a big kick, as well as make in India, as the Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar Bharat. If you have to, all these aspects must be finding a place in the course curricula in higher education in agriculture. I don't say anywhere else. In agriculture, this is the place where it must begin. And this is why the ongoing World Bank supported National Agriculture Higher Education Project emphasizes on these aspects. I had the privilege of guiding that team to really prepare that. In fact, I wrote this present ongoing. Many people do not know, but then when it was just waiting for 2 years sitting in the rooms of the ICAR, and then the World Bank people came to my academy, National Academy of Agricultural Sciences. They asked me, can you do something for us? I immediately talked to Dr. Ayyappan and I asked him, where is this sitting? Why is this sitting? We should be able to We prepared the earlier projects of NATP and so on and so forth. And now, as a follow-up, if this new project is coming in a big way, $10 million and so on, how can we lose this? So I wrote the whole project. And then that has been now been operational and implemented. Ask the question, why could we not do this? So please take responsibility. Be sure that you don't allow this thing to slip by. And I think people like you, who are the leaders of today, the deans, directors, the vice chancellors of today, please be watchful about some of these new possibilities and must be able to take advantage of this. So I will close just in 5 minutes. The spirit of reform, perform and transform, which the Prime Minister talks about, you have to on the same wavelength as the Prime Minister is today to talk on some of those aspects. A paradigm shift is to be required in the land grant university system to be changed to world grant system. As you know, in many universities in America, many of the land grant universities in America are now one of the strongest multi-faculty universities. You go to California, you go to many other states in the US, you will find the so-called the land grant universities now multi-faculty universities of all kinds, including medical schools, social sciences, ICT, communication, computer science, you name it. And you remember in Pantnagar Agriculture University, the half circle is still empty. The Pantnagar Agriculture University half circle was supposed to bring into medical school there, was bring into basic sciences in very big way. This has not happened. In fact, the circle is sinking and the half circle is empty already. Now, please get back to it and get back to take your responsibility. You are no more, you should not be land grant university system. You should be world grant university system. And likewise, since you have lost your basic sciences, you should be able to make the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics should be.
Sir, फिर mute हो गया sir. It has muted sir, muted.
Oh, are you able to hear me now?
No, perfect. It's perfect.
Somebody must be asking me to stop. So okay, but I thought this is important. Change STEM into STEAM. Change the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Put A in between, and that make it STEAM. STEAM. A should stand for agriculture, and let agriculture be greener with the help of science. And with that kind of a development, we will have new agriculture. And this is where probably you should be able to bring the synergy of excellence and relevance together. And for that purpose, the new way of teaching, the online, as we call the massive open online courses, MOOC can become a part of your system. Your university should be able to have its own judgment, your own evaluation system. You should be able to rank yourself as many universities are ranking, and nowhere we find our university is finding a place in the world ranking situations. So I think, friends, time has come that we should be able to really rise to the occasion to make it sure that we have the world-class education. If an Indian has to be a world citizen, then world-class education is a must, and therefore the education system should have a gold standard. It should not have any compromise, and the investment should go into it in a big way. Digitalization, digital solutions, artificial intelligence, all these aspects should be required for making evergreen revolution. If you have to sensitize, stimulate the younger generation, if some of these new way of teaching and new way of doing the business by all kinds of new developments, precision agriculture and artificial intelligence all brought together, I think the young will be attracted towards it. There will be an increasing chance of getting the good brains into the agriculture systems to come on behind, and we will be thus not be able to leave many behind. And this is what is a way of inclusive development. And please see that you are at the same wavelength as the rest of the world. and you have the best of the technology in your system, and at the same time, it should be able to encourage the adoption of these technologies by those who have never been exposed to this. So affordability and the access, which is the need of the NEP, should be brought into agricultural education. And the ICT and knowledge dissemination for attracting youth should become a usual way of training and development. India has the lowest percentage of vocational education. I think this is so very unfortunate. Where we have so many unemployed and we do not have vocational education. Do you know the Republic of Korea has 97% of their people, their graduates have a vocational exposure. In USA, 50%, in Germany, 70% of the people who go through graduation in one way or the other, they also have been exposed to vocational education. In India, the number has been ranging between 10, 15, 20% from state to state. At the average level, about 20% or so. We have to double it as quickly as we can. So vocational education should find a very high prominence in our system, and we must make it sure that this is allowed to happen as quickly as possible. I will finally say that a strong mega ICR regulatory bodies should be in place to take care of many of these quality assurances and accreditation process to be in place. Most important, we should catch the brilliant ones when they are young, and therefore agriculture should be an eminent part of education right from primary school, high school, colleges, and then to the university system. The new agricultural education policy, which is the important thing for all of us, would call for retraining the teachers. The teachers' training will be very important at various levels, and we should promote into teachers the multidisciplinary approach, the internationality thinking, flexibility in their approach. A teacher should not be only filling the bucket, or should not be only be filling a pail, but a teacher should be a lighting fire. But the teacher should fire the students in terms of increasing the enthusiasm of the students. A teacher should be able to enthuse the student to ask the right question rather than to give the right answer. Asking a right question is more important than giving a right answer. This kind of feeling should be brought into. They should be able to ask a question whether our education system today is producing such leaders who would navigate us through the changing water with the various waves of the world development, including pandemic, and build the needed values to reach the unreached and to render our agriculture university world class. Ask this question to your students. So asking a good question is more important than giving a right answer to a question. So that will enthuse the students. That will make the process of thinking, not just memorizing and then vomiting in the examination answer books. Culture of developing the think process in education is missing. We should be able to bring it back. We should be able to bring that Indian culture of education, that Janvadi approach, that the Bharati Dharmasthal approach, the kind of training, the India be the guru, word guru in the real sense. That system is missing. We should be able to reinvent it. Finally, agriculture should be also producing professionals with significant skills to find solutions to veritable challenges faced by agriculture, like low productivity, low profitability and income of farmers, increasing volatilities of climate change and market uncertainties and poor access, persisting high incidences of undernutrition, hunger, poverty, inequity, environmental degradation, shrinking and diminishing natural resources, soil, water, biodiversity, diminishing levels, and institutionalized multidisciplinary approach is needed to really solve many of these problems. Friends, I will stop here. Thanks for the opportunity. I hope I have been able to convey to you that agricultural education must occupy a different platform today so that it is all inclusive, it is competitive, it gives the efficiency, and ultimately it is able to give the relief that the farmer ultimately needs. Therefore, reach the unreached, don't leave anything standing in the line through really enriching your education. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm sorry for taking longer time, but I thought probably this is what is required to be said at this stage. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Tremendous, tremendous. Actually, what you spoke thoroughly in between, the thrust of the day, when we got to align with, truly aligning with the strength of the system, the strength of the system, the challenges that is lurking in front, the ways to confront those challenges, and how the future is supposed to be shaped. So we could see all those aspects are inclusive, all those aspects which has been covered by you, and it was tremendous getting in-depth alignment of what exactly is the thrust of the day, which we were eager to listen to. It was really tremendous. It was insightful, and we all are blessed. So when I talk in terms of agricultural education and the thrust, the crux, more than 300 plus issues that has been raised by Dr. R.B. Singh Saab into this small spell of time, and all those which we generated, now looking towards the agricultural education setup and scenario of the country, and putting a thrust to put much needed innovation into the system, much needed structural reform into the system. And for that, the vigorous program, the big program of National Agricultural Higher Education Project, NAHEP, that is there being led by Dr. R.C. Agarwal, DDG Education Sahab, and he is there on the platform. We at Pantnagar, we are also experiencing that NAHEP program also. We are experiencing the transformation towards innovation into agricultural education setup. We are experiencing the crux of the thrust of bringing up this responsibility into the system, getting responsible, looking towards outcomes, outputs and outcomes into each activity, aligning with it, and bringing infrastructural reforms to go towards that. So all of those aspects being led by our DDG Education, Dr. R.C. Agarwal, who is leading it from the front whole country into agricultural education system. So now I request Dr. R.C. Agarwal, DDG Education, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, to please put his views. Dr. Agarwal, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap. It is always a pleasure to listen to Professor R.B. Singh. He is a really a person who has given the directions to the agriculture in general, but agriculture education in particular, I can say. As you can see from the 5th Green Committee and from today's talk, he is a repository of the new ideas. So thank you, sir, very much for your elaborative talk on this important day, this Agriculture Education Day, on the birthday of our late Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president. The kind of points which you have spoken, I think we can again write a new book on all those suggestions which you have given. I'm thankful to Dr. Mukhopadhyay also for giving wonderful ideas and for being present today on this platform. So my all senior colleagues, Dr. Gajan Singh Saab, who has been the Deputy Director General Engineering and who is able to join from the USA. You can understand the time difference between the US and India. So I hope this may be the midnight. And he's so devoted that he's connecting even by spending his night and not compromising with any other thing. So really, I'm thankful to my all colleagues, and especially Dr. Raju Barwale, who is a very successful alumni of this great university. The university which is the first land grant university. So thank you, Dr. Kashyap. Thanks to your Vice Chancellors. I wish him a speedy recovery. I spoke to him, I think, 2 days back, and I was sorry to know that he was suffering from this corona effect. My thanks to each one of you who has organized this important webinar on this important topic, on this important day. And as it has been told by Professor R.B. Singh, yes, we fully agree. And sir, we can assure you that we will come up to your expectation. We are taking all necessary steps, especially the guidelines which have been given by the new educational policy. We have a national committee now, and I have submitted I'm the national convener for that. I have submitted the draft report with the committee members who are looking into this. And we are just trying to give a new shape in view of this new education policy. Especially as you have told the vocational, the idea of how we have to double the vocational courses. So that we have to look how we have to increase the gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035. That also we have to see. We have to see how we have to really go for the multidisciplinary. So it's not a small task. Now, you know, in the past decade, there have been many bifurcations of our universities. Like you can say they have made a horticulture university, fisheries university, they have made the animal science university. So now the new education policy says there will not be any name added to any university like agriculture or something. So they will be all general universities. So now how to combine these, how to have multidisciplinarity in all these, it's a great challenge before us. But we have to take a decision. We have to make some of the universities as the global universities, as we have told. And for that, we are under NAHEP. We are going to hire a consultant who will submit us all the details, what are the requirements for the global university. So that those indicators, those requirements, we can then just circulate to all universities and then just pick up few to support them for converting them to global universities. And a new policy which we are giving for this agriculture education, we are trying that how best we can have in all the universities one special dedicated office for the foreign students, so that if any query, anything is there, so they are dedicatedly serving for the requirement of admissions of the foreign students. And not only this, how best we can ensure our global presence in other universities. So that also has to be seen. But those are some few points about this new education policy. New education policy, if you see, it talks for the holistic development. And holistic development cannot come unless you give equal emphasis in all spheres. As you know, they have taken out the word extracurricular. There's nothing like extracurricular now. So everything is part of curriculum. So then again, it's a big challenge. So even if you want to opt for the sports, it becomes your part of the curriculum. It is reflected in your transcript. So that's really something great which has been reflected in this and which is going to come. And similarly, there are many other challenges which we have to reorient ourselves as per this new education policy. But one point which I want to elaborate here is the actions which we are taking is that how best we can prepare ourselves for another kind of any eventuality in the future, which is totally unforeseen. Like the present one, the pandemic. Pandemic was not foreseen by anybody. Even till March, people could not visualize that it's going to be so severe. It's going to have so much effect on education. It's going to affect so much effect on our economy. But it happened. Suddenly it happened. We were not prepared. So we have to prepare ourselves with the latest technologies. And those latest technologies are your how best we can have the more and more use of digitizations in our agriculture system, agriculture education system. A part of it already we have demonstrated through this, like Pantnagar University under the NAHEP was one of the forerunner. They could have all online exams, online classes, everything. And I can say all universities have done it. But they got a lot of confidence through this use of technology, and students could not suffer much. Now you see, hardly there is a delay of 3 to 4 months in the admissions. We have conducted all the exams. Now counseling is going on up to second round. We have already completed the counseling, and it is all happening because of the latest technologies. No, we have relaxed so much in this COVID period, pandemic. All the students have been given sufficient time, and they need not to move to any university for verification of their records, other things. So this same kind of thing now we have to adopt in our agriculture education system. And not only for academic management system, which we have implemented in 54 universities. And tomorrow we are going to have the Vice Chancellor's Conference. There also we have been given an agenda for having a uniform system for academic management system in all universities. And that is the solution which we have already done under NAHEP. So that's now we are thinking. But the Professor R.B. Singh sir, I just want to inform you, we are working on a very big platform of resilient agricultural education system. We have hired some consultants, and just yesterday I had a detailed talk with the World Bank. The total cost for that resilient agricultural education system is going to cost us around 400 crores. But we are working on it. How best we can take together all our agricultural education system so that we are ready to take advantage of the best faculty for all the universities. If a university is located in a remote place, can we ensure that the students are not deprived of the best teaching? That can happen only with the use of technologies. And using this technology, it is now our challenge. It is our duty now to marry between this technology and the students' learning. And that's what now we have to see how best we can do all those things. So we are working in that direction, sir. Recently, we have developed certain courses in animal science under the NAHEP using the virtual reality, and they have been highly appreciated. Those courses really gives a freedom to the students of the veterinary science for a virtual dissection. So, because a student cannot have every time a new animal for doing the practical for the dissection. So virtually how we can using a mouse and see all parts, can cut any part, then just see reassemble, can see any kind of veins, any kind of part. So it's virtually they get the same feeling as they are doing on the physical body. So that has to be now promoted in all kind of things. There is no replacement for the physical training that's there, but we should have some alternative. In case the physical visit is not possible, do we have some alternative, the second line of defense? So that is what I'm not propagating that everything will be online or everything should be taught only in the virtual mode. I'm saying that we should have some kind of arrangement so that if there is any kind of eventuality, are we really prepared for it? So that kind of preparedness now we want to have. And I'm again happy to inform you we have around 250 already virtual classrooms which we have funded. Under NAHEP, we have established 18 smart classrooms, and they are going to be launched within 1 month's time. All the things are ready. And those smart classrooms, if you see, they are really smart. Smart in the sense, the cameras, they are smart. So if a teacher is moving in the class, the camera keeps focus on the teacher so that it is not out of focus. And similarly, the board, if you write anything, it gets captured. The mic on which you are there, that is also smart. So everything is smart in that, and immediately the entire lecture gets captured. You can edit it and then make it available for all other universities. If you find like this has to be taught or this has to be shared with other persons. Okay. So now we have to see how best we can take all these things for the other students. Not only this, sir, we are also seeing and we are also attempting, if you see the latest interventions which we have done. Again, I would like to draw attention of Professor Abhi Singh. Sir, just 2 days back, we could complete the ranking process of all the universities. And the results will be declared on 5th of December by our Honorable Agriculture Minister. And this is the first time that we have done this ranking process online. No single paper has been asked by any university, and the committee could validate all the records online. The committee was drawn from various parts of the country. So one expert was sitting from Karnataka, another from Uttar Pradesh, another from Rajasthan. So like that, they were able to do all these things. And it was so wonderful. Today also I got an appreciation letter from one of the committee members. They were saying they were so comfortable that within 2 hours, they just with the click of the mouse, they could verify any record, and just click of the mouse, they could see automatic ranking done by. Even 0.01 mark cannot be added or deleted from any university. So whatever the university has submitted, it is based on the records submitted by the university. Wonderful system. So, and education division now has become, again, I would feel proud in informing you, sir, is the SMD, which is now paperless. Your accreditation process, totally we have done online. Your student ready program, totally online. Your inviting applications for anything, utilization, everything and anything you can think of, project monitoring system, alumni network. We have developed a huge alumni network of all universities. Wonderful system. And I would request through this platform, if you have anything, all the alumni, they should go to the website, respective university websites, and they should register themselves in the alumni so that the students can know where their alumni are working. If they want to interact, if they want to network, or if the alumni, they want to help the university in the way of intensive, in the way of placements, in the way of teaching, whatever kind, donations, they can have all those things. So that uniform platform also we have to get. And of late, that is the future which is required now. How we have to be ready. We have been asked by Prime Minister Office that we should go for a database of the experts, whether they are retired or in service, and that database is also ready with us. So that there is no personal bias in selecting any expert for any particular purpose. So you should go to the system, you just type for what purpose you want, the subject, and then you get a long list of the experts, their contact details, and then you can select whom you want to have for this particular purpose, so that you have a wider choice. So all those things now we are making in the sense that the new education policy also wants to have emphasis on all these things. How we can have more and more intervention of technologies, how we can have all this digital presence for all the students so that no student is deprived of any kind of things. There is no digital divide. For that, we will ensure that all universities get equal opportunity for digital education. And we will also ensure that whatever facilities can come from education division, they are also given to all the students. We are also working on DigiLock, that how the degrees can be really put up in the digital format. And my colleague, Dr. Pandey, is working on that. We are also working on many other things. But one thing, sir, I would like to just inform. We are soon going to call another Dean's Committee. Another Dean's Committee is required now because of the multiple entry and multiple exit system in the new education policy. So as you know, as you were the chairman of that committee last time, the student ready program is offered in the last year. But now, as the new education policy says, that whatever education you have got, it should not go waste. So if you have got 1 year program, you will be given certificate. 2 years, it's a diploma. 3 years, it's a degree. 4 years is honors. So that student ready program should not be deprived of if somebody is going for 1 year program. So how we should reorient all those practical experiences, practical exposure in different years. So that has to be now relooked accordingly, your course curriculum, your other things, so that in the first year, if somebody is quitting after first year, how best we can do. Already for postgraduate and for our PhD programs, our revisions are complete. And one new thing which you will see after a few months, that is, sir, all the courses, now we are converting into e-platform. Already, you know, we have launched a Make platform where we can have this artificial intelligence, virtual reality, we can have the in real time, the disaster recovery, all those things on the Make, which we have launched around 3 months back. Now, using all these technologies and all these things on this platform, we will be hosting all those e-courses. One e-course we are going to demonstrate tomorrow in the Vice Chancellor's conference. And that is our preparedness, so that nobody is deprived. Even if you are not able to go to the university, or if you are missing, you can get the learning of that from the best of the best faculty. And for that, we invited the applications from all the universities. And we got a very good response. Everybody is working very hard. And now we are providing our technical support to those to all those e-courses, putting multimedia, putting all graphics, putting in the digital format, and doing all kind of things. And that very soon we are going to complete, and we will then release it. And I think that will be also a new milestone in the history of agriculture education. Our preparedness for any kind of future pandemic, if it comes, and for providing the best of the best knowledge, best of the best teaching to our students, sitting anywhere, irrespective of in which university you are studying. So if you are willing, you are having the resources. Our job is to provide the resources, but the willingness has to come from the students. That we cannot force anybody. But we will provide all kind of motivational platform where we will see all these things. And then, sir, we are also working on how best we can have the development of the faculty. And I am again happy to inform that none other than this university, Pantnagar University, has been identified as the university for the faculty development center. Under NAHEP, we have given one faculty development center. And I had a talk with Dr. Tej Pratap, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. And I had a talk with the All India Agriculture University Association, where now we are thinking to make this faculty development center available to any university, not only agriculture universities, because now NEP, new education policy, says that there's no concept of agriculture university. So we will try to make this center, provided we have the sufficient accommodation and other things in the university, as the faculty development center for the entire education system, entire universities. And similarly, we have established 5 career development centers in 5 different zones. And they are also have been provided the guidelines, and they are also the model career development centers. Recently, during this pandemic only, we have done this thing. Around 4 months back, we signed an MOU with the Pantnagar and with those another 5 universities, so that the students can get the best of the best career counseling. If they want to prepare for the interview, if they want to prepare for their personality development, or any kind of, like you see the Pantnagar facilities in NAHEP. Whenever I visit, I always see new kind of motivational lectures are going on language, different languages, or your motivational lectures I could see. So I was so impressed, I was so happy. But it is all happening because of the commitment of the university staff, because of the resources being available through NAHEP. And as the motto of the NAHEP is, single line I will just say you, the quality and the relevant education. So through NAHEP, we have also already introduced around 58 new courses, vocational courses from 3 to 6 months. So now we are trying to make the quality education through the 3 subcomponents and the relevant education. And for that, whatever is required, we are providing all kind of support. I'm not going to elaborate the achievements. I just want to say I'm thankful to all the universities, and especially to Pantnagar University. Whenever I open my mobile, I always see one new document, either it's a newsletter or some webinar or some other kind of things. So that is the kind of proactiveness by all the universities. And lastly, sir, I would like to say one thing. Again, I want to share this platform that in NATP, I was minister coordinator in NAIP also. In NAIP, I could not find giving World Bank as a satisfactory status to the project. Always they used to say that even moderately satisfactory is more than enough, and they hardly give satisfactory status to any project. This is the project during the midterm review, they have rated as the satisfactory. And they told in front of the minister, they told in front of the DG that this project is in the top performers of the World Bank assisted projects throughout the world. In the top, maybe in top 10. They are saying they never expected such wonderful results, such wonderful indicators. We have around 62 indicators on which we are monitoring the progress of this project. So all those 62 indicators, we are performing very well, and they are more than satisfied, and they could not stop themselves by giving satisfactory, which is the highest grading by the World Bank, seeing the progress. So it could happen. It's not our achievement. It is the achievement of the universities like Pantnagar, who are working dedicatedly, who are helping us a lot. So I'm really thankful. And for giving, as you have directed, we have noted down all your points, and we will assure you that we will not leave any stone unturned. We will try to make more and more Dr. Rajendra Prasad on this Education Day. Especially if you know about Dr. Rajendra Prasad, one very famous story is there, that in one question, in one exam, there were 10 questions, and they were asked to attempt only 5 questions. You can attempt any 5 questions, as it is there in any exam. But he attempted all 10 questions. And then the examiner wrote on his answer sheet that the examinee is better than the examiner. So that is the kind of thing now we have to inculcate. We have to not see the options. We have to know the answer for every question. It is not that I prepare part A and part B, I'm weak, I should not. We should know all the things. We should try to answer as much as we can. We should try to have our holistic development, and we should prepare ourselves for meeting the national priorities, as you have nicely narrated. for being vocal for local, for being Atmanirbhar Bharat, for making 5 trillion economy, and that can come mostly from the agriculture graduates, I can tell you. So we have to, the challenge before us is how to make agriculture education as the education which is attractive, which is more, which can produce more entrepreneurs. And for that, on this particular education day also, we have written letters to all vice chancellors that please make programs to educate the school students about the agriculture education. If they know what are the opportunities, if their parents know, if their teachers know at the 12th standard, then I think we can really harness the best of the best talent by choice towards agriculture education. And one good thing which can be shared is, again, sir, that in the last exam, we could get 60% more applications for the examination which is conducted by the education division. So that itself shows that people are attracting towards agriculture education by choice more. And I happened to meet a few students who left MBBS. They got admission in MBBS, they got admission in BBSc also, but by choice they preferred BBSCH. And I was so surprised to see their interest. They were saying, we love more animals than the humans. So they want to go in that particular profession. So they can be more close to the nature if they treat the small dogs, the small animals, or the big animals, or the lions, or the wild animals, whatever is there. So they found it more challenging. So that kind of paradigm shift now we are seeing this agriculture education. And we have to see how best we can help the students in educating them about the opportunities in the agriculture education, so that they can choose after 12th. Whenever you go to any person's house, they will talk only of the 2 choices. And we also ask whether you want to be a doctor or you want to be an engineer. But nobody talks whether you want to be agriculture graduate. So we want that everybody should talk of 3 choices after 12th, whether you want agriculture, or you want to be engineer, or you want to be a doctor. So that can come, I can be sure it can really come once you educate the students about the opportunities in the agriculture. And the day is not far when that day will come, when you get the best of the best talent by choice in the agriculture education. And then we can really say with the proud that yes, we are number 1 in agriculture education also. We have seen another trend in agriculture education. Many persons who are not trained for agriculture, they are also shifting towards agriculture. I can give numerous examples. They are IIT graduates, but now they are running organic farming business. They are helping market. They have developed many kind of marketing models, digital formats. So they are coming from Indian Institute of Management. I have seen many students because of the interest in this particular field. So really it's, and sir, one more thing I can just tell you. Recently we have organized one hackathon. And in that hackathon, I expected hardly 100, 150 applications, but we got 800 applications throughout India for agriculture technologies. And more than 25 teams, they participated from IITs in this hackathon. And on 15th, we will have the final round of that hackathon. It's a team of 4 persons. And already we have written a letter to the Prime Minister's office to give away the awards, those 3 awards, to the top performers. So that kind of talent is really hidden. And that's the new direction we have to think for, to invite the ideas from the students. And one thing which was unique for this hackathon was that we did not limit this hackathon for the agricultural education system. We opened it outside agricultural education system also, so that the traditional universities, the universities which are not in agriculture, they also can participate. They also have ideas. And we got success in this. So we can move in many directions. So I'll not take much time. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor of Pantnagar University, the Vice Chancellor of the other dignitaries who are there, and all the organizers, especially Dr. Kashyap, for forcing me to attend this. I was preoccupied in some other, but then I could not resist by attending this. And thanks to all my seniors, especially Dr. Gajendra Singh Saab, Dr. Raju Barwale, Dr. Mukhopadhyay Saab, Dr. R.B. Singh Saab, and everybody. I don't see everybody on the screen, a small screen, but I'm thankful to each one of you, and I compliment you and congratulate you on this Agriculture Education Day. Thank you all once again. Namaskar.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hard. You have always been with us every moment. Whenever there was a need, you were there. And that makes all the sense and difference to all the efforts being done across into the universities, including Pantnagar. The system in which we are sitting over here, Faculty Development Center, the program organized on the banner of FDC, the Faculty Development Center that has been bestowed from ICR, Naram to Pantnagar University, through which we can think of, aspire of, bringing illustrious personalities like you and getting your wisdom that goes across the world, and then we compile each word spoken by you and we are translating it into publication side by side so that we can keep that wisdom ahead with us. The word that has been bestowed upon to us, actually Pantnagar is a witness to it, that when this corona came, we shifted from our normal platforms to MS Team platform, then translated classrooms into digital classrooms, started the classes instantly, completed the semester, went into the next semester after completing final examinations, completed our examinations, entrance exam as well, new semester in place. First hourlies of this semester already over. We are getting into the courses after first hourly. The examinations, entrance examinations completed, and the students first year, fresh students are there into place. So nothing stopped. That was a commitment that nothing should stop into this odd situation. And we confronted it from the front. This is how actually the things are running. I, of course, put all the words of honor to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Tej Pratap ji, who led this from the front and gave all freedom to get ahead with our experimentations. That was like a test with destiny. And we kept on rolling. Prior to getting ahead, our Honorable Gajendra Singh Saab is having raised hand. So I request him to put his words. Dr. Gajendra Singh ji, please. I could see your raised hand, please.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm a very, very proud alumnus of this Pantnagar University. I'm from the first batch of agricultural engineering batch, 1962. And we had my classmates from all over the country. Even from a state like Bengal, which is far away from Pantnagar, we had 7 of my classmates from Bengal. We are from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra, Gujarat, Punjab, everywhere. I think all the states were represented in that. So I feel that we have, over the time, lost that mixture. Maybe states are represented, but the proportions are very much different. There's very little percentage allowed from outside students. So my humble request to everybody is that let us make this first and foremost university as a central university. It's already working as a model agricultural university. Let it strengthen it, which become a model for other agricultural universities with a multidisciplinary programs offered in all branches related to agricultural sciences and allied sciences. It already has an engineering college, which is there. Basic sciences, R.B. Singh mentioned about it. is not of the same level as it started with, but it is still there. I think it's relatively easy to strengthen it. It has a master's and PhD programs in number of disciplines, because the basic science is really a backbone of any research. Unless you have a strong basic sciences, you cannot do agriculture, veterinary, or engineering, or any discipline. So I congratulate, I think Dr. Kashyap, your team is doing a great job. I'm very proud of Dr. R.C. Agrawal, who's so kind to us, Pantnagar. I have worked with him on a number of occasions, including NAHEP. And I expect full support from him to take this Pantnagar to become a central university. People like Dr. R.B. Singh, who's my elder brother, but more than that, almost like a teacher, though I did not take any class, but number of lectures I have attended over these last, I don't know, 40 years or so. He's more than a guru for me. Dr. Mukhopadhyay I have known for many, many years, because I was on the board of Pantnagar University, and I was on the board when we selected him as a dean of the College of Agriculture that time. So I'm very proud of Pantnagar, and I think it has a tremendous potential. Right now, I see there is a shortage of resources for Pantnagar, because Uttarakhand is a small state, revenue is limited, and maybe the central university will provide that kind of a solution to make it is a great university. I am on the evaluation of QS worldwide for the university's ranking. I have been putting Pantnagar name. It appears, I don't think you find any other agriculture university appearing in that list, but we have to really work very hard to really maintain this status. And I think right now the team is very enthusiastic. With the new team led by new deans at various colleges, there I see a tremendous stamina, new energy in the whole campus. Wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Lots of thanks, heartfelt thanks to you. Coming to Dr. Ravirkar, our Dean Postgraduate Studies, who have been since beginning, who has been going through. Dr. Ravirkar, please. Dr. Ravirkar, unmute. Yes, you are.
Hello.
Yes, you are. Please speak.
Hello. I will join Captain Kashyap within 1 minute, please.
Yes, you are, but voice is a bit distracted, please.
Hello.
Yes, you are there.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Ravirkar, Dean PG. I have been given the responsibility just to some of the things. It is a really nice to have all dignitaries on this particular webinar. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. R.B. Singh, who is a Padma Bhushan, and he has nicely introduced the topic and also emphasized all the various issues which are required to improve the quality of the agricultural education in India as well as the global. He has focused mainly that the university, Pantnagar University, has contributed a lot to the second agrarian to make the India as a second agrarian economy in the world. Now he has also emphasized that the emphasis should be given to improve the nutrition of the people, and under the challenges of the various challenges which have been there. Those challenges such as the COVID, and for that under the such challenges shall be taken by the youngsters to take the agriculture further. He also emphasized on the poverty alleviation, nutrient alleviation, and climate smart agriculture. And he emphasized that we should become vocal for the local, and he mainly emphasized that the recommendations which has been given by the 5th DINS committee to make the local to vocal to local, such as such courses like hill agriculture, coastal agriculture, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, biotechnology. In all these courses, the students should be made aware, and they should be offered to all the students to make them more global. He also emphasized that it's the requirement of the time to reform, perform, and transform, and there is a need for the paradigm shift. He emphasized mainly to introduce the more online courses. Then he also emphasized the importance of the ranking of the universities. The universities should go for the ranking, and they should try to come at the ranking at the world level. Similarly, the world-class education should be given to the student, and then there should be the increase in the vocational courses at the graduate level. So these are the various issues were raised, and he emphasized to take the agriculture further to improve the agriculture education in the future. I'm really thankful to Dr. R.B. Singh on my own behalf as well as on the behalf of the Pantnagar University. Then I'd like to put my thanks on the record to Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay ji, who was our dean also, and I thank him for sharing his memories of 1960s at Pantnagar. Then he also emphasized of the role of the Pantnagar in developing the agriculture in the country, and how the Pantnagar has contributed to the green revolution, to bring the green revolution. And further, he emphasized that there should be a dedicated staff, and he also focused on mainly the causes for the reduction in the quality of the education in the agriculture. And for that, he told that there's a restriction on the admission to the local, and the quality of the student which comes to the particular university, that matters to the quality of the agriculture. And therefore, he emphasized that he recommended that the students throughout the country shall be given the admissions in all the universities, so that the quality students can come, and then the quality of the education in the various universities, particularly Pantnagar, can be improved. Similarly, he also emphasized on the importance of the research papers in the quality education. And I agree with him that the research papers, they are very, very important. And nowadays also, it has become very important that the research papers and recently our staff members are not taking much interest in writing the papers or publishing the papers in the high impact factor or in the NAS rated journals. And therefore, it is the need of an hour that we have to mend our staffs for writing the good quality papers in a high impact factor journals. Similarly, he also emphasized that the infrastructure, quality faculty members, and the students, those are the main key elements or the factors for the quality education. As far as the Pantnagar is concerned, the Pantnagar has a very good infrastructure, but as far as the quality faculty members are there, but the near about 30 to 40% of the seats are vacant, the positions are vacant, which needs to be filled so that we can take up this particular execution to the new heights. I am really thankful to Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay ji for sparing his time and sharing his memory and guiding us for the future agriculture. Then I would like to put my sincere thanks and on behalf of the Pantnagar University to Dr. R.C. Agarwal ji, who is the DDG Education, and he is a main force for driving this particular agriculture education in the India. And Dr. Agarwal is putting his all efforts to take the agriculture to new heights. And the one example I'd like to quote over here, that he is a he's a national director for the NAHEP, and through the NAHEP, throughout the country, in all the most of the universities, the revolution is taking place, and particularly we have experienced this particularly in the COVID-19 situation, wherein this NAHEP has been very handy to take up the various new initiatives, such as Dr. Kashyap has already told, that the online courses, online examinations, vocational courses, certificate courses, diploma courses, which were started. And this could become only possible because of the help of the NAHEP. And we would like to, and particularly this webinar, which is being conducted, that is under the, which is being conducted or organized by the Faculty Development Center, which has been given again by the NAHEP under the component 2. And I would like to thank Dr. Agarwal specially for giving such opportunity and to develop this Faculty Development Center at the Pantanagar. And we hope such cooperations in the future also. Once again at the end, I would like to thank one and all the dignitaries as well as our ex-alumni like Gajendra Singh ji and then the Badbola ji and then the T. Ramasundaram ji, who have joined on this platform. I also thank Dr. Kashyap and his team for nicely organizing this webinar and giving us opportunity, and to the all students as well as the faculty members giving this opportunity to listen to such great personalities like Dr. R.B. Singh ji, then Dr. Ian Mukhopadhyay ji, and Dr. R.C. Agarwal ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Averkar, Dean Postgraduate Studies of the University. And in the end, heartfelt thanks to all those dignitaries who joined, the deans, the directors, the illustrious associate professors, assistant professors across from the country, and all those from different walks of life who joined from different places. I could see lot many institutions who joined today to listen to the stalwarts. It was really a bliss, and we couldn't have thought of commemorating this auspicious day in any better way as compared to listening to our stalwarts, Dr. R.B. Singh Sahab, Dr. Mukhopadhyay Sahab, and DDG Education, Dr. Agarwal Sahab, and being with the blessings of those elderly people, those who are there from across and who always give hand-holding to our university and whole country wherever there is a need into agricultural education segment and setup, like Dr. Gajen Singh Sahab, Raju Barwale Sahab, and all of those who were there from different walks of life. I put my heartfelt thanks to all of you, and I expect that your blessings will be there with us every moment whenever there would be a need and we would be making a call, and your hands will be there on our heads. This is what we expect to take this expedition ahead with all lot conviction. Times are odd, but into these odd times, we with a conviction that getting firm and firmer, comparatively more firm to face these so that we don't get defeated at any cost. This is what is the conviction, and we pledge to be with the conviction at all costs. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Close.